Oh, yeah. How you doing? Good morning. How's everything?
Good, how are you?
Good. How's everything going?
Oh,
29 years old. I guess someone that was born in the 80s, someone that's born in the 70s. What is today's difference between, I guess, my generation and kids below me, as the older generation prevent them from thinking after?
We got to indirectly change these people's minds, because we can't come straight. People come there with these programs, this, that. We got to indirectly do it. We got to indirectly help these people, these young boys, change what they're doing in their mindset. And how we do that, we got to be perfect witnesses. We got to be an image of them. We got, you know what I mean? You feel me? We can't go back and you do this, don't do this, don't do this, and that. We got to carry ourselves in a fashion like, yo, man, like, you feel me? And let them know, because everything's a trend, right? Everything in our city is a trend. Amongst our people, it's a trend, bro. We don't need necessarily have to know what's going on. If he doing it, I don't have to do no education. I don't want to do no education, self-education. He doing it, it's hot, the people love it, I'm gonna do it. That's exactly how it is. I mean, like, you feel me? So just be the best, I guess, example and image to these kids and youth. That's the best thing we can do.
I think that, like, when it came time for my parents and my grandparents, they all understood that we needed to get job benefits. Like, and then you retire from your job after 25 years, and that's pretty much the end of it. I think that when my generation came in, we was more like Jay-Z, the Nas's, and we wanted to be able to get rich. So it was like, I'm listening to all this hip hop, and now I'm like, okay, the fastest way to get to this money is by selling drugs. I'm going to start my own business. And that's pretty much how I got my, because I didn't want to work a job for 30 years and then retire and all that. I wanted to do much more than that. But what the problem was is I didn't have the education. We wasn't going to college. Dudes were dropping out of high school. I did graduate, but we never finished our education, so we never went to college. So with that being said, we don't have the education, but we have the mindset to be able to be something much bigger than just working at a job for 30 years, and that's it. So what happens is, when we start selling drugs, now we're starting to go to jail, we're getting out of jail, we're getting out of house arrest, we do all these different things. So now my kids don't have me there. At least when I was growing up, I had my parents. Like I had, like people that was like, people I looked up to, whether it was grandparents, uncles, all that stuff. But when we started selling drugs, it messed up the household. Crack started messing up my uncles, everybody else. That leads to what you were saying as far as like I remember my grandparents was like, they was really, really into my uncle because my uncle used to get in trouble all the time. It wasn't because they loved us less, it was like they felt like he needed them more. When I started to get to my situation, I'm in and out of jail. I did 3 years my first bid, I did 5 years the second bid, I did 7 years my third bid. During this time, my kids are being raised without me. So now, I come home from jail, now my kids have animosity towards me. They looking at it like, you was gone when I needed you, blah, blah, blah. And it's like now they was basically brought up on their own, so now they got their own way of trying to get it and trying to, jail don't seem foreign to them because they see me go to jail. So now it's like my daughter, she wants to do this just like me. So now she's messing with dudes that are in and out of jail just like how I was, because she looked up to me. My son's looking at it where it's like, I'm going to go get it like my dad, because he's only seeing the house that I had, he's seeing the cars that I had, but he's looking at like, I'm going to go get it the way that my dad did. So now he's in and out of the same situation. So what I think has to happen is like, and I don't know how we break it, because now my son's kids is going through the same thing because he's not.
That's what we got to break.
So it's like we got to try to find a way to be able to go back to the way that it used to be, but show our kids that we can do other things besides working at a job for 30 years.
And it's crazy. So how we beat the odds? I mean, we unified, bro. We unified, we come together, bro. That's something the world ain't ready for. As the black people, they're not ready for us to come together. You know what I mean? And really come together and be something strong. You know what I mean? They rather us sit back and watch us kill each other.
So how do we get rid of the poison he was talking about?
Stop that racism stuff. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to be perfectly honest. I got Caucasian people that move faster for me than my own kind. We have to change that first.
I was just about to say that. People are holding us back. People are doing us.
That's an excuse.
It's us.
Yeah, it's
We're
us.
holding each other.
We holding each other back,
bro. So it's like we can't blame the white man, blame anybody else because of us not getting along. Think about it like this: if your podcast start blowing up, there's gonna be somebody else that has a podcast too that's gonna be hating on you because they don't want you to be successful because they doing the same thing. Instead of them coming to you, they're like, "Yo, how did you do that? Put me on." You think about like all the different situations. I thought about this when I was in jail. All those years I was trying to rap, there was about 25 dudes that was in Colesville, Lancaster, Reading, Philly, all that have record labels. If
Yeah.
all of us would have came together as one, we would have blew up. When it comes time for clothing brands, we have all these different independent clothing brands. All of us come together and put our money together, come up with one, we'll blow up.
Yes.
So it's just a matter of, you know, if we're going to be able to ever trust each other, because we can't blame it on anybody else. We have to blame it on ourselves.
Yeah, we got to stop that.
You know what I mean?
That's how we going. That's the first thing we can do to change the narratives. Stop playing that race card, throwing that race card out there, bro. You know what I mean? You feel me? That's racism. Yeah. You got racist white people, racist black people.
Playing the victim.
He has a lot of good people.
Yeah.
You don't know what to have.
That's where to go next.
Yeah. What do we have to do to be able to break what it is that we've been talking about? Because we've been talking about how we're the ones that keep holding each other back.
Right.
Where do we start and how do we go about doing it? Because one thing I can tell you is like, even like when I be speaking at schools, right? I feel like I've been in two different situations where they gonna listen to every single word that I say.
Yeah.
So now it's like I gotta put my costume on to be able to go into a school to be able to get the attention of the kids. So now it's like, do we start off doing that? Do we gotta show them success before they actually jump on with what we're saying?
Right.
So like, just imagine someone that may be out here getting some money, like how I used to when I was selling drugs.
Yeah.
And then I see someone that is in a messed up situation that was buying drugs off.
Yeah.
The respect level is not going to be the same. So it's like, in order for me to be able to take the knowledge from you, I got to see that you're either the same level as me or bigger than me for me to be able to respect what you're saying. So that's the reason why I'm trying to say what
I hear what you're saying.
Where it's like, if I go in as a regular dude, that's like you're regular like my mom and dad, you're regular like so-and-so.
Right.
I want to see that person that's on TV, I want to see that person that's doing all these things, and then I'll listen to him.
Right.
So my thing is, what do we got to do to be able to get the attention of the people, to be able to let them know this is the movement, this is where we're starting it from, and we want everyone else to try to follow what we're trying to do, because we gotta break the cycle.
We gotta break the cycle. Great one, man. You already know, man. That's my man Zach. Tyrone, and that's Dave.
Nice to meet
Misha.
you. Younger generation.
Beat them already yet,
We
bro.
have to be appealing to it.
Yeah.
So back to her point.
That's what she said.
I know. I get what she's saying, but to his point, it's you almost have to for the younger generation. Like I said, we as adults, our perspective is different. But to them, they have to see it first, before they can believe it.
That's because
so what you saying though? They keep saying, but you can't go regular one day and then come back flashing. Now they like, oh, now I see you.
Yep, then they're gonna jump on it.
Now we're doing the time.
Listen, that's what they're attracted to. They're attracted to the fame and the flash. And I understand what you're saying.
That's how you get their attention, though.
Initially, though.
Yeah, right.
Another part, and then you build it, then you pour into it.
What do we got to do to be able to make it so that the kids hear us as like right now? Like like you see how we're all dressed right now, we're just regular people. But if you see a rapper that's coming through with all these jewels, all this other type of stuff, they're going to listen to him.
Yeah, they are.
So what do we got to do to be able to change the narrative? Besides showing up, I know you're just saying showing up. I show up as much as I can whenever I get invited. You know that. But the bottom line out of all of it is, how do we get their attention without that?
I look into myself like, what am I doing wrong? Because sometimes when I'm coaching, my approach may be, a little too aggressive based on how my style is. Right? So through that, it's like being genuine enough is to recognize who you are as a person and just keep it simple. Say, I'm sorry. Oftentimes I mess up a lot, then I'm like, I gotta go back. Like, you know what?
Revisit it. Go back.
I'm sorry for that. That's my bad. So I think a big thing with, black people and our culture in general is just, we don't say sorry enough.
Right. That's right. Ego.
We see a lot of things go on and we just like, you know what? I'm not gonna say sorry. I was wrong. What happened 3 years ago? You know what I'm saying? I was wrong, because that'd be the issue why people go kill someone, because they hold on to that anger from what happened a couple years ago. Right? Just say sorry.
You don't know who you affected. So you don't even know how many other people that are feeling that way towards you.
Right.
So if you like you said, you have that approach, damn, my bad. If just step back, humble yourself, my bad. That's it. And that's general, damn, my bad. I messed up. It's affecting everybody. It seems like it's just a small situation, isolated incidents, but it's pouring into the community. If we start and continue to hold ourselves accountable, we can't go wrong.
As an adult, we may think a little bit differently, like you were saying earlier, right? But I think you might have said that. But either way, if you pull up on a situation and you have a guy that's homeless out there and he's talking about, yo, give me some change so I can eat. and then you have someone else that's over there that's trying to give you knowledge too, that has a Porsche, whatever, Ferrari, whatever.
Yeah.
You're probably going to listen to that dude over there because we're driven by money.
Yeah, that's who
and
you are.
When I walk into these rooms, they take on to that. So what I'm trying to get at is, I've been in situations where I tried to dumb my stuff down. So that way I can walk into the room,
but you can't dumb yourself
and
down.
I don't get the same level of love when I do that. Now, I think that to go back to what you're saying, when you're talking about attracting the right people, you got to understand that we're being driven by devilish things right now.
Yes, we are.
The majority of our communities is driven by devilish things. So I know you're saying that we got to go for him up there, but we got to do things to be able to get their attention, to point them in the direction.
Come on, man. That's right. That's right.
It just seems like they're not getting enough at home.
Foundation.
And
kids having kids.
I gotta be careful when I say this because I'm not, you know, it's a fine line that I'm walking. But I would say, what I notice is, you got a situation where you can tell where kids come from a stable household, or there's someone there that's teaching them basic principles. Then you got those who come from households where they just waking up, they gotta go to school, party and wash in a few days or something like that, something crazy. So that being said, those are usually the kids that act out because they don't know how to cope with their emotions.
Yeah.
So usually what you were saying earlier about, you know, picking up on negative energy, most kids are attracted to that. But when you get to know them, they have reasons why they don't.
Because it comes from home, the foundation.
Home. There's a lot of things that these kids come to school with that distract them from learning. So I try my best to keep them on track.
Yeah.
Let's just figure out what the scientific revolution is, or something like that, right? Because that's what we come to school for, just to learn. So that's a challenge. That's a challenge on, you know, trying to get them to understand that there's someone there that looks like you, that supports you, that's not going to put you in harm's way. Because the truth of the matter is, a lot of these kids come to school not trusting us because of what they go through at home.
You do have to kind of come with a little flash, you know, to get the attention. And being a flashy gentleman and the way you carry yourself, you walk into a school where kids are gonna be like, oh wow, who's that? Mm-hmm. And then you tell them all, and then you lead with your success. And then you backtrack and then you hit them with reality. This is how we got here. Right. I've been on this side of the fence. I've been on this side of the fence. Right. You feel me? So to really get the kids' attention, it's like you gotta get the memory at first. Then it's like, oh man, he went through what? I ain't trying to do that. You know, I ain't trying to go to jail. I'm not trying to spend years of my life. They don't have that perspective. So I feel like you give them the what's the commercial? The Sour Patch commercial. You give them the but it's reverse. You give them the good stuff in the beginning, but then you backtrack and you're like, yo, this is what it takes to get here. Right. And this or you give them just the trenches of it.
Bro, never dumb yourself down for nobody. For nobody. Because nobody know what it took for you to get there.
That's right.
So I don't care if I got Jews, I'm gonna work them on. You can hate on me if you want this and that, because you don't know what it took for me to get where I'm at. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So I'm gonna show up who I am. And then one thing about him, when he's doing his testimonies and stuff like that, he's telling you. So at the end of the session, you're gonna understand why he's staying where he's staying at. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna tell you the trials and the tribulations that he had to face. Bro, I'm not dumbing myself down for nobody. Because when I was down, I didn't have nothing. Didn't have no resources, no nothing. Nobody wasn't there. So when I know I started from the bottom and bounced up. I'm not doing my life for nobody, not the youth, not nobody. Because I want the youth to understand, like, you gotta stand on who you are.
Me being an ex-rap artist, right?
Yeah.
When I go back and I look at how I carry myself as a rapper, I'm embarrassed.
Right.
Because I'm a businessman.
You're business, yeah.
So I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm embarrassed.
Right.
So when I have people hit me up from Penn State, Villanova, all these different places, I'm going in there representing Daryl Austin, the businessman. Yeah. So I don't want to go in there.
Right.
And what happens is, again, even when I'm in those settings, if I don't, the respect level is totally different. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I was like, you know what? When I go to Penn State, whether I go to wherever I go, I gotta go as the person that I am, the flashy person I am. That's the only way that gets me, where I need to be. And I do exactly what you said. I show them everything that I did, everything that I accomplished, all the different TV shows, all the different stuff. And I'll be like, well, this is where I started from.
Yes.
But I tell them where I started from, everybody can relate to those stories because they're all in that position from where I started. So that's pretty much how I get it. And a lot of people don't even think that they're going to live to be at 40, so they don't care about that. They run around shooting doors.
Yeah, nah, that's facts, bro.
So for me, I look at it where it's like, what can we do to be able to make it more enticing for the kids to not worry about money?
Right.
More worry about your
bring more
resources.
resources.